in hot now. Slow. Sponsored by the Quick Trip. Yeah, we never done this. We're the ones to be on the street. Rising up, be on repeat. Ain't no stopping now. Drop the beat, make them take a seat. Let me see you bounce, such your energy announce. Tune in every week, ain't no room for the weak. Quick Trip in the back, we stay on the right track. Us will never lag, always getting that sass. Matt Ramage Show, get to know. We coming in hot now.
All right, so this is a work in progress. But what's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. This is the Matt Ramage Show, presented by the greatest gas station in the world. And right now, they're having themselves a bake sale. You can get muffins for $1.19. And the biggest thing right here, $2.99 for a 6-pack of Glazers. This ends on the 21st. All right, so get down there, get yourself some Glazers, stock up a little bit. 29 cents a pound for produce. They're going crazy over there at Quick Trip. So be sure to head over to Quick Trip and use the Quick Rewards app, because the Quick Rewards app, you can save lots of money. You can win a lot of free stuff. They got lots of good stuff going on there at Quick Trip. But we are joined today with a good friend of mine. We are talking about Mr. Green Bay guy. Ben, as I call him. I don't call him the Green Bay guy.
That's more preferred, Ben. Ben's more preferred, for sure.
But, dude, we're going to talk about this, but if you go to thegreenbayguy.com, he's got a great website, and for anyone who's visiting Green Bay, especially for the first time, but even if it's not your first time, you probably don't know some of the stuff on his website. We're going to talk about this. But, Ben, how you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, man. How you doing?
I'm good. You know, it's the season. The Packers are 4-2. With Jordan Love being out 2 weeks, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. I am pretty happy with that.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I do want to give a shout before we get into this Talkin Packers to Nicolay Law, also a great sponsor of mine and yours. All right.
Yeah.
They take care of the people. You know what I mean? So if you ever get hurt in an accident, the insurance companies are being weird. Insurance companies fear the beard. You know what I mean? So check out nicolaylaw.com if you need. Hopefully you don't need it, but if you do, that's the spot to go.
Yeah.
Keep it in the old memory bank. You never know.
And if you forget it, just drive on the highway. You'll see one of his billboards. It'll refresh you.
I asked him if I could get on a billboard, and he's never talked to me since. So I don't know. I don't think that's a possibility. You know,
I saw driving around Green Bay, they had Rashawn Gary as one of their partners. They added Eric Stokes and Lucas Van Ness as partners. I want to say there's one more, but maybe it was Lucas Van Ness and Eric Stokes were the two. But yeah, so they got a few Packers now representing.
Yeah,
so.
you know, Quick Trip.
We're practically Packers, man.
Yeah, we are.
We are practically suiting up on Sundays, so we can say we now when talking about the Packers.
Yeah, and like Rashawn Gary, he's with Quick Trip. I'm with Quick Trip. I feel like we're all the same.
You're twice the Packer that I am.
Yeah, they're probably paying the same too.
Yeah.
All right, but we're going to talk some Packers football. We're going to talk about this week, big game coming up. But I want to talk about the greenbayguy.com, because people ask me every time there's a home game, where do I go? Where's the places I got to be at? What restaurants do I got to eat at? And, like, I eat like a toddler. I eat the same stuff I was eating in 2002. Like, there's new restaurants being built all the time. I don't go to them. No, I go to some, but like, so I always tell them, go to thegreenbayguy.com. But like, let me ask you guys, we actually have a graphic for this. Let's start off right here. Top 5 places to visit in Green Bay. Like, that doesn't have to be restaurants, but like just cool spots. Like where should people go? Like, I know I didn't give you an advance, so you don't have a list made out.
Oh yeah, it's cool. Because top 5 places is like so vague. Like if you're talking restaurants, it's one thing. If you're talking like things to do, that's another thing. Coffee. I don't drink alcohol, but I'm a big coffee guy.
I know the alcohol spots.
Between the two of us, we might have it covered. Top 5, like if you're coming into Green Bay and you're a Packers fan and maybe you've never been to Green Bay, even if you've only been and you maybe been just for a short while, like you've been to a game and that's about it, check out the Heritage Trail. If you got a car, whether it's a rental car or your own car, there's a free Heritage Trail online. It has a lot of historic sites around Green Bay, and the nice part, it takes you around Green Bay, so you can go to the city deck. There's bars down there. Hagemeister Park's down there. There's trying to think. I don't know why I'm spacing on the name, but there's bars down there that you can have drinks outside, right on the city deck while you're seeing these things around the city. But the Heritage Trail is really cool because it has Matt's old stomping ground, East High School, which is City Stadium. It has Curly Lambeau's birth house. It has Vince Lombardi's house when he lived here. There's just a lot of historic sites, but it takes you all over the city, which is really cool. Man, that's tough. Like, I'm going to throw some restaurants in there. I'm going to just kind of bundle it all up. But like, if you're going restaurants, I just talked about this on my show not long ago. Legend Larry's. I love Legend Larry's. They are a sponsor of mine, but I've been going to them for years.
You've been repping them before, dude, way before that.
I joke
that's why they're sponsored.
I joke that like the sponsorship is just like back pay for like 7 years of me promoting them. But I love Legend Larry's. I've been a big fan of Legend Larry's forever. Rustique is in this old church out in Swamico. Great place there. They make all their pizzas like at the where like the altar would be, and it's like opened up so you can kind of see there. You've been to Rustique, even though you don't remember that. I know your wife confirmed that.
I don't have a good memory of places I've been. My wife will tell me, like, you've been to this place and you liked it. Like, I have never been here in my life. I walk in, I'm like, oh yeah, I do. I think I remember that. I do.
Yeah. 888 Cheese and Co. You would like that one there. It's like a grilled cheese place.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd be all about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, La Carreta, I love their quesabirria tacos. When Jonathan Owens played for the Packers, him and Simone would go there. So they got pictures with Simone, and Aaron Jones went there a lot, but that's a pretty hidden gem. I don't know. I think I've given you more than 5, but right. Coffee Wizards, but it's all on my website. Like, you can find a lot of the good. How about a hole in the wall joint? I was telling Matt prior to joining us, it's not in Green Bay. It's on the outskirts of Green Bay. It's like maybe 15-minute drive, but there's this bar called Basil's 2. I don't know where Basil's 1 went. It's very similar to Kroll's, I'll say that. However, I'm not a big fan of Kroll's. I think Kroll's is turned into a pretty big tourist trap now. But Basil's 2 has incredible butter burgers, but the prices are even better. My wife and my son and I go there. My son's 1, so he doesn't eat much of anything, but we'll go there. We'll get him a cheeseburger. I'll get like a double bacon cheeseburger. My wife will get something. We'll get curds. We'll get fries, and it'll be like $22 or something like that. So super cheap place in the middle of nowhere. Great hole in the wall spot. Otherwise, I did mention La Carreta. I feel like that's a pretty good hole in the wall if you like Mexican food. I feel like a lot of people avoid the east side when they come to Green Bay because everything's on the west side, but there's a lot of gems in the east side that you can find.
Yeah, first of all, there will be no Kroll's slander on the Matt Ramage show.
I know you love Kroll's, and
dude,
I get it.
Kroll's.
Dude, you went there a lot as a kid, and I get the nostalgic part of it. I just, it's just not for me. And I will say on my website, there is a disclaimer that says on the bottom of the page, like, I have the palate of a 7-year-old. All ratings are my own experience. Doesn't mean the place isn't good. It's just maybe not for me. So Kroll's falls into that category. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I love Kroll's, and I will also give a mention to Max Macaroni and
Max.
Cheese. Yeah,
I don't know how I forgot that. I do love Max as well. Yeah. But
everyone, check out thegreenbayguy.com if you're visiting Green Bay, and he's going to hook you up. We're going to talk about some Green Bay Packers football. We got some comments rolling in here, and I appreciate everyone who's tuning in on the podcast, on the audio version tomorrow morning, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, be sure to do that. I'm actually going to be changing some stuff up a little bit. I'm not going to be posting so many live chats that I have on the podcast because I feel like when I'm live, I want to interact with the comments. I want to talk to everyone, and then it doesn't really work on the audio version as much. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the audio version, they're like they're listening on something that they're not supposed to be. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna start having people come on, talk about the Packers, off, like not live, like pre-recorded, and then posted it on YouTube and on the podcast. Next week we have Ron Talk Sports. He has a page on Facebook. I think he's a great person talked about the Packers. I got him next week, and I might even be having Mr. Ben Chan. He's a
Nice.
Jeopardy champion.
Are you gonna go toe to toe on trivia?
No, I'm gonna try to do something, work some Packers stuff in, and I want to try to get some questions that I know the answers to, and maybe he don't.
There you go. Yeah,
I'll
just
just
set
ask
him up
him
to
something.
fail, man.
I want to ask him like some stuff that I wondered about stuff. You know what I mean? Like I have questions. I put this out there one day and I said, how are clouds made? But then people were like, it's water. And I was like, well, nah, I can't ask him that because he's going to think I'm stupid. Well, it'll just confirm it. But yeah, so starting next week, also, I'm going to be live streaming during Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. I'm going to the game this week, so I won't do Sunday Night Football. But I'm going to start live streaming a lot of games. I'm going to start doing a lot of different stuff. We're going to have the trivia show back. We're going to start doing a lot of fun live stream. Because I get sick of just talking, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, which I like to do. But when you do it too much, you're just saying the same stuff. So
Well, you're live a lot, man. So that
Yeah.
that doesn't help you by any means. You're live a lot.
Well, I love talking football, like with Jimmy, and I love talking football. Obviously, I love talking about the Packers, and I'm going to keep doing that. But I just want to sprinkle in some other stuff, so it's not just
Right, but there's
being
only so
routine.
much you can talk about in like in a week. I don't know how Andy Herman at Pack-A-Day podcast does it because
And like Nagler, every single
Yeah,
day he does
dude.
it. And but he's dialed in. Like he knows all the news. He's a
right,
reporter.
but there's
He's a media guy.
only so much, especially in the off season, man. Like you see
I don't
these
know how
guys
they
like
do it.
going live to talk about Packers in the off season when nothing has happened. And it's just
Yeah.
like, here we are.
They're smart. They can figure it out.
That's
I
true.
cannot.
I'm
But we're
with
going to
you
talk
there.
about some Packers right now there, Mr. Ben. I
Do it.
appreciate everyone who's tuning in live right here. This is a good question right here. I only see part of it because the way it's set up. That's pretty cool to see Love get the award for the second straight week. He definitely deserved. He balled out. I think he's talking about Love got was the offensive player of the game for the NFC or
I saw you got the
That's the
FedEx Aaron Ground, and then he won the Nickelodeon, the MVP. I don't know if it was. I could be missing an award, but that was the second time winning the award. I don't think it was second week in a row of winning MVP because I think he won the MVP last year. There could be another award that I'm missing.
Yeah, but I think it's the second time this year that he won FedEx Player of the Game or whatever it was.
Is it the second time this year?
Yeah, I think it is. I'm pretty sure he won it. I don't think it was second week in a row. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I trust Jesse. You know, Are you questioning Jesse?
I'm
right
not.
now, is that what's happening? Right
I'm
here?
just wondering.
No, but,
like, I'm behind here. Jesse should be in my seat, man.
But
I
Jordan
should
Love,
be
you know,
watching.
he balled out 4 touchdowns. He had 1 interception, but that was not his fault. He's heating up. I feel like that knee is good because those
it's getting
slides
there.
you see him take, some of those slides, because I made a video of Player of the Week and Jordan Love. I had Jordan Love and Romeo Doubs. But Jordan Love, like some of those clips, I was like, dude, I don't like the sliding. He slides funky. I feel like that knee, and I feel like if that knee was still a problem for him, he wouldn't slide like that because he'd be protecting it, and he was not protecting it. But
Matt, not to interrupt you, but I always love, and I can say this as an unathletic person, I always love when an unathletic person criticizes an athletic person.
no,
Like,
I'm just saying the way.
Jordan slides funky. Like what this, Matt? I've seen you run routes, man. I know you don't know how to slide.
I don't know how to slide at all, but like I want my quarterback to stay healthy. So I'm saying, I'm not
But
saying the
you
right way to
definitely-
slide.
Yeah, you definitely do see it with him scrambling and how he doesn't hesitate to take off as much, and he's stepping into throws more. I'm just giving you grief anyway.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, what's up, Allison? She says, when it pops up here, what do I think our new kicker is going to do? All right, so the new kicker situation. First of all, I'll say because obviously there's some stuff going around about him. I don't know. Like I looked a little bit. All I know is I'm just going to talk about the kicking situation. They must thought that because they were all on board with what's his name, Neverson.
Narvison?
Narvison. I knew I was saying it.
I mean, it's not
In my
like
head, it was like, that ain't right.
dude, it's
But
not like you need to know the name anymore, right? Like,
But,
yeah,
because they were all about him. They were like, yeah, but that's what they got to say. But as soon as they got to they're in win now mode. So they're like, that's kind of what I like. But even at quarterback and kicker in training camp, they weren't afraid to, they just start cutting people. We're going to trade for this guy. And then Willis ended up having to play at quarterback. Kicker situation the same way. Like I feel like if this guy misses a couple, he'll be gone too. I feel like and I like that. That's how it should be. Like if this is win now, so we're not gonna wait. We're not gonna. And like with Crosby when he struggled, like whatever 2016, whatever year that was, they stuck with him, and I agreed with them to stick with him because he was established. We knew what he could do. He was kind of in his head. He was having a funky year, but like you don't know these guys. Like they're just on a team. Like they're rookies, whatever. They're struggling. Like dude, if they don't believe at practice in the locker room that they can do it, then they gotta move on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd say they're in win now, right? Like I mean, the NFL is always a win now business because that window is going to be open as long as Love's playing well. But what I will say is you don't want the game to be thrown away by a kicker like we saw maybe last year when Carlson missed in San Francisco. That hindered that game and ultimately made it where the Packers had to go down and score a touchdown at the end rather than kicking a field goal to make it go their way. But yeah, I mean, I do like the fact that, hey, if something's not working, we got to figure it out rather than I feel like in previous years, it felt like it was, well, we're just going to be patient and see how this goes. I don't know. Yeah, it's hopefully it works out. Hopefully we don't have another kicker this year, and hopefully this guy's just through the year. I do wonder if the Packers stick with him long term or if they plan on going back to the well and drafting a new guy. But yeah, should be interesting and exciting.
Yeah, it should be good. Donnie checks in over here. Thanks for the comment. He said, "Thanks for all what you do, guys. Love the entertainment. Score prediction: Crosby proved he was worth keeping." I see like a lot of comments talking about Crosby, and I think isn't he signed with the 49ers?
No, that was Carlson. Carlson signed to the 49ers practice squad.
Oh,
Crosby's on the radio now. I think he might be even locally here now.
Dude, that's funny because like someone actually told me that in my comments, like Crosby just signed with the 49ers. And I was like, all right, maybe, but
they probably meant Carlson.
Yeah, Crosby, like he's old, and I love Crosby, but like. I'm not sure that he could kick past 50, or I'm not saying he can't, but like he was struggling past that. I'm not even sure, like you said, he didn't get signed with the 49ers. Maybe he doesn't even want to play anymore. Like
he's on the radio
I don't know.
Now.
Yeah, but all love to Crosby, but I don't know that they want someone. They keep searching just for someone who can kick good from short and far. Like don't miss extra points. I mean, obviously we don't expect perfection or whatever, but they just want a kicker that they can trust, like you said, because they're playing like this week. They're playing the Texans. When you're playing these good teams, you can't have missed field goals. You gotta when you're in that spot where you kick a field goal, not to have to go for it on fourth down because you don't trust your kicker, and now you're gonna put the defense in a bad situation. Like they want a guy that just that they can just depend on. And Packer fans have been lucky, not just with quarterbacks, with kickers. You had Ryan Longwell back in the day, even though he said some unnice things about Green Bay when he left, which we don't let that slide. But then Mason Crosby, and now we're in a little bit of a funk with kicker, but at least they got the quarterback situation worked out. I would rather it be that way than the other way. Like we got the best kicker in the league, but we don't got a quarterback. The Packers got a quarterback. But,
better.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, all right. So I'm going to get to another comment here because I don't know how to take that one off. Here we go. Is this the same one?
Nope. That's the next one.
Oh, yeah. Love the content, Matt. Thank you so much for being such a great person for the Packers community. I appreciate
That's true.
that, Joe.
That is true, Joey.
Yeah. I think Ben might be just a little bit better. But
no.
So let's talk about this week, all right? I'm going to the game. Are you going to the game?
I am not. No. I don't know. My sons won. You remember when your boys were little? You liked watching the games with your kids.
I tried to get away from them as much
as
possible.
Well, now they're old and they're annoying. And my son's
I'll be watching the game with my son. Andrew's going to be at the game.
Nice.
And we do that standing. I showed him that standing thing. Him and his friends are always up there now.
Dude, does he pace all game long like you do regularly?
Yeah, just screams. He's so obnoxious. First of all, he's hammered.
I wonder where he gets that from, Matt.
I have no idea.
Drunk and obnoxious.
I don't think I taught him that. I mean, first of all, I can't hang with him. So
well, you're not 24 anymore.
Yeah, that kid can put him down. But yeah, so I'll be at the game with him and all of his friends. His friends are lunatics. They're awesome, but they're lunatics. You know what I mean? It almost like keeps me along. keeps me young, but also I'm like, you shouldn't do that. Like I start like parenting, like, hey guys.
Hey, yeah. That's act our age, guys. No, but I'll be watching it at home, just hanging out with my my wife and son. My son doesn't really care too much. He's one, but I still enjoy. We'll sit there
Dude.
and watch, and we go touchdown. And he puts his arms up, and that's the stuff that I'm all about. But I'm sure I will get to a game sometime this year.
It actually is like so true. Like watching a game with your kids, like when, like I remember like there's this old picture that I have of me and my two sons. I don't know how old they were, like 12 and 10 or whatever it is. One of my kids has got a Greg Jennings jersey on. One's got like I think a Jordy jersey on, and I don't know what jersey I'm wearing, but we're all wearing jerseys and we're just staring at the TV and just their backs.
Yeah,
and
I know
love
that picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
love that
used to
picture.
have it on your Twitter profile way back in the day.
Yeah, I probably did. Yeah, it's I think your kids watching football with your kids is like I remember games and I just like remember like how we celebrated, like me and my kids. The Packers put families together, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. Like, we took our son to family night this year, and we didn't stay the whole time because he's too little. But like, man, it's just so fun to be like, oh, this is gonna be a family tradition, like, and going to training camp. And I have this picture of him. I think I posted on my page, but he has his hands on the fence and he's watching practice. He's not really paying attention because whatever, but he just has his hands on the fence and he's watching what's going on because they're moving. And it's just like, this is gonna be like what assuming he likes the Packers, right? I'm not gonna force it on him, but
first of all, you will.
No, I mean, I'll just cut him out of the will. I won't force it on him, but like, you're not getting anything down the way. But it brings families together. It's something I look forward to. It's like, us as a family sitting down and watching the Packers and us yelling touchdown and he throws his arms up or he throws his arms up and it's not even a touchdown and it's just a good time. I'm excited for that to continue.
Yeah, it's good times. All right, we're going to talk about some Packers now. Let's get to a comment right here because Joey's chiming in. Joey says, what is the next active Packer we could see you have on the podcast, Matt? I don't know. They stopped
They stopped answering your calls.
Maybe Kenny Clark. I feel like I could ask Kenny Clark at any time and he would say yes. Kenny Clark is such a nice dude. I'm actually going to go buy his jersey tomorrow. I'm going to wear it on Sunday.
Yes, let's go.
Preston Smith too, Preston's the man. I feel like I can't find the Preston Smith jersey. It's in my house somewhere. I'm gonna find this thing, but it's the whiteout thing, right? The Packers are doing the whiteout thing on Sunday, so I'm gonna buy a white jersey. So I figure I'll buy a white Kenny Clark jersey.
There you go.
What are your thoughts on that? On the old white jersey over here.
So I like the idea of a whiteout game, right? Like, I think that's a pretty cool thing. I don't understand why we're doing it mid-October when it's going to be like 60 to 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that should be a late November, December, maybe even January thing to do when you're in prime time, not a noon game in October. And I like that they're trying to do something different. I like that they're mixing it up a bit, but I just think it's weird to call it like a winter warning in October. I don't want to be thinking about winter right now, but I don't know. I like that they're mixing stuff up, but it's just weird to do it in October. But who knows how much say they have over when they can do it too. I don't know the NFL's regulation on things. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Like, I don't care really. I think the winter warning thing is weird but it's a winter warning, so it's like before winter. But it would be good to do like a night game in December. I think that the Packers play the Vikings or something. I forget. I saw people on Twitter arguing about it. But I also think it's weird people care so much. Like, I get like me and you are like, kind of a weird thing or whatever. But like some people are heated. Not even just about when it is, how it is, or that there's no yellow stripe on the helmet, all those things. But some people are like, the Packers are green and yellow, and that should never change. Like, people don't like change. And it's like, it's one game. I'm a very historical Packer fan.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I love the Packers. I got Paul Hornung autograph. Well, you can't see it. But I got Paul Hornung autograph. Like, I love the Packers history. And I think that's what makes the Packers so special is their history. And I think every team, even the Bears, I hate the Bears, but like, they have a history. Yeah. Lions, I mean, they got some history. Vikings, though, no history. They have a history of losing Super Bowls. That's what they. But the Lions actually, I'll take that back. They were dominating the 50s.
Yeah.
Before the Vikings were even thought of. Anyways, but
I would agree with you there, though. Like, I understand that love of the history, but ultimately, like,
it's one game.
I don't
uniform.
understand, like, blowing a gasket over
Yeah.
a single game, or especially something you can't control. Just enjoy it as a fan, and if you don't like it, wait a week. Boycott the week if you want to.
Yeah, like Nicholas over here said, or Nicole.
Dude,
it's hard to read it.
Yeah, you're white on bright
Yeah,
yellow. What do we got going on here?
I'll change the color code, or the color change. I'm just trying this new thing out over here. But Nicole, I apologize. They played the Vikings December 29th. That's the game everyone's talking about. That would have made sense, and you don't have to call it a winter warning. You could have called it like a winter storm, and you could just bet December 29th it's snowing.
All right, let's clarify something though, because the Vikings are doing a winter whiteout or whatever thing. But they play in a dome, so that makes it even worse. Like, you're not, dude, it could be a blizzard outside, and inside you don't even have to wear a jacket. So I think it's worse that Minnesota is doing a winter warning when they don't even play in the elements.
Don't even get me started, because there was a Viking fan that said this is worse than what the Vikings did. No, it's not.
No chance.
Because Vikings pretended it snows inside. That's what they did. They're like, it's a whiteout. It's not a whiteout.
No.
You're playing a dome. You play in a building. You could have a bank in there. Nobody would know the difference. Like, it looks like a bank, their whole stadium. Like, you're inside. It's heated. No one's uncomfortable. No one's in there. They come in, they take their jackets off. Like, wow, it was cold outside, but not in here.
Yeah. Dude,
that's what irritated me about the Vikings' whole whiteout thing.
I mean, the only time they saw snow in their stadium is when their roof collapsed in 2010. So, I mean, that's the only time you're seeing it. When the Packers did make it on the schedule for this week, the odds of us getting snow in October isn't the worst. Last year it snowed on Halloween. So, you never know in Wisconsin. At least there's a chance of snow when they scheduled it for us. Unlike Minnesota playing in theirs.
Oh, yeah. It's not going to. All right, we're going to get into this game. But first, this is a great question from Joey. Thanks.
Joey's just knocking these out.
Hammering them out.
I might as well. Dude, Joey, want to come over and just take the microphone? I'll sit here and watch.
He said, Matt, would you rather have Packers versus Jets? Aaron Rodgers. And you got our Packers versus Chiefs or Packers versus Texans for a Super Bowl. All good stories. Dude, Joey, that's a great question. I would say Packers versus Jets all day long. First of all, I know Davante Adams is over there now, and I think that'll make them better. I don't think the Jets are going to be very good still. 'Cause I feel like I don't know a lot about the Jets, so I'm not going to act like I'm like all dialed in, like I know the roster. Like, they don't seem like they can protect Rodgers very good. It seems like a mess over there. They fired their coach. Like, no one's ever fired their coach and then went on to win a Super Bowl. It just seems like a mess over there. Like they're trying to hold order. Like, like the Titanic, that last scene. Order, I want order, I say. I feel like that's what they're trying to do. And I think it's going to make it a lot better in a lot of ways with Davante Adams, because Rodgers can be happy. But it just seems like it's not the recipe what they're doing over there for success. But, I have no hate for Rodgers, and obviously not for Davante Adams. I thought it was great seeing them on Pat McAfee show, and they were all like together, and they're all happy or whatever. But I'm not sure that they're going to win a lot of football games with that, because the Chiefs. And I'm not saying that they're not going to make the playoffs or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen. But when it comes to the playoff time, like teams like the Chiefs, I think the Texans are going to be really good. We're going to talk about them in a minute. Hopefully not that good this week. But I feel like there's a lot of competition over there. But what would you pick, Ben?
Certainly not the Chiefs.
Yeah, dude, I'm not picking the Chiefs.
There's only been 2 times a team has won 3 championships in a row, and both of them were the Packers. I do not want to see the Chiefs win a 3rd Super Bowl in a row and join that club. Now, no one's won 3 Super Bowls in a row, so they'd be in the league of their own. I personally think I'd probably choose the Texans. I think both are. I think to me, it's more of a fun, like, both are up and coming. It's their rosters that they've built. I don't want to sound jaded, because I don't care that the Jets win. If they win, I hope Rodgers and Davante, I hope they can have some of those plays, and I hope it's a good time. I think if the Packers and Jets played each other in the Super Bowl, I would hate the narrative, the whole 2 weeks leading up to it, of like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers versus Jordan Love, and the successor versus the successee, whatever. And like I would just hate. I don't like the idea of like buying a Super Bowl either. Like, getting all these older, trading away all your assets and hoarding trading away all your assets to hoard these players. I just like the homegrown, like the draft and develop. CJ Stroud is a young guy. He's coming in the league.
Yeah.
So I think if you had a Packers Texans, it's like this is setting up maybe a rivalry for the next 10 years, 15 years that you could see rather than, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just thinking about it a little bit more cynically, but I just would hate that narrative for 2 weeks of, oh, Rodgers is playing his former team and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, that's what it would be. It would be, and then it would be trying to get Packers fans fired up, and the ones who hate Rodgers, and people the ones who didn't before, but now it's Super Bowl. It would just be a lot of BS. But what's up, Jesse? Thanks for tuning in. He said, Matt, would you ever have Matt LaFleur or Watts on the podcast? I would love to, but I'm not sure they would. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude, they're definitely welcome, dude. I think Matt LaFleur. We'll talk about that for a second. Matt LaFleur. First of all, I would love to have him on a podcast because he's awesome. I think he's fun. I see him on, Cheesehead TV, and he's obviously a cool guy. But I saw where he was like 8th in Coach of the Year based on on betting or whatever. But I feel like he's like the most disrespected coach. When he was winning with Rodgers, they said it's because of Rodgers. Now Rodgers is gone. Jordan Love went down. He trades for Malik Willis, wins 2 games with him. Granted, they were like trash teams, but he made him I wouldn't say made him, but he helped him be a productive quarterback. And, dude, I feel like he needs that love. Obviously, they got to keep winning. I don't really care about Coach of the Year, but whenever you talk about MVP, Coach of the Year, and they're like, I don't care, just win. Well, yeah, but they do. I think Matt LaFleur would like to be Coach of the Year. I don't think it's his goal. It's his number one where he's like staying awake at night, waking up like, 8th place. I don't think, but I think he would like, and I think that when guys deserve it, they deserve it. And obviously, it's so early. I don't care about like awards. Like you see Bear fans talking about Rookie of the Year, Caleb Williams every week. I see it. They're always he's gonna win Rookie of the Year. Like good, whatever, have a good time. But even like MVP, even when Rodgers was doing his thing, when it's like in the middle of the season or even week 5, 6, people are talking about MVP. Like who cares? But I would like to see Matt LaFleur win Coach of the Year. But they got to keep winning. They have a tough division. But what are your thoughts about Matty LaFleur?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I think recognition's always nice, but I don't know. I guarantee you Matt would rather win a Lombardi trophy than win Coach of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
We saw Rodgers win 4 MVPs and didn't win a Super Bowl any of his MVP years. I think he would probably trade an MVP for a Lombardi trophy or 2. So I think accolades are great, but I think anyone in 1265 cares more about winning and the legacy that you could leave in that regard.
Yeah, but legacy of winning Coach of the Year would be all right too.
Who was Coach of the Year last year?
I don't remember.
Yeah, there's not much of a legacy there. I mean, I'm sure there is for like the fan base that wins it, but I can tell you who the Super Bowl champion was last year, and
I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember that either. I think I got dementia. But so let's talk about this game. All right, appreciate everyone who's tuning in live right here, hammering the comments. But I want to talk about this game. All right, Packers taking on the Texans over here. The Texans on total yards, they are in 6th. Passing yards, 2nd. Rushing yards, 14th. Points, 14th. Like that's a solid offense, right? So the Packers defense got to come to play. They have to come going crazy. Like they've been doing, right? They haven't been perfect, but they've been taking the ball away. I think they took the ball away more than anyone in the league.
17 times so far this year. Last year they took it away 18 times total in the year. Yeah. So 17 times through 6 games is pretty good change.
So you think probably that this week they overtake what they did last year in takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, it's trending that way, right? The Packers defense has taken away 2 or more every game so far. First time since 1996, which I think was a good year. I feel like I'm just re-talking on my podcast now or my live show because this is what we talked about. But yeah, 2 or more times every game this year. The Texans are interesting. They've given it away 7 times and they've taken it away 7 times. So their turnover differential is 0. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully the Packers can turn over or create a couple turnovers. And what's interesting as well is the Texans defense can get to the quarterback. They're very aggressive. I think they had 17 sacks on the year. I have it in my notes here from my show. But the Packers have only allowed 6 sacks on the year. I think that's what it was. The Packers have allowed 8 sacks on the year, which is second in the NFL, and the Texans are sixth in the NFL in sacks with 19. So you have an offensive line that's not giving up a lot of sacks, and you have a defense that's producing a lot of sacks. So that's going to be an interesting, like, what moves first, like you gotta, I'm gonna butcher the analogy, but like a unmovable object and whatever, but which one's gonna budge first? Is this offensive line gonna be able to hold up, or is the defense gonna get home? They have Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., who are both, I mean, we're pretty familiar with Danielle Hunter from his time in Minnesota. Will Anderson Jr., I think, won Defensive Player of the Year last year. So both are very strong pass rushers that can get home pretty easy. It's gonna be a tough challenge for sure.
Dude, I like that, dude. You're like an analyst, bro. Let's ask the chat what they think. Dude, that was like some top-notch analyst. They don't usually hear that on the Matt Ramage show.
Hey, I'm glad I can bring that. That's what I literally just talked about it 2 nights ago on my live show, so it's still fresh.
Yeah, it's all in your brain. But let's talk about the Packers offense a little bit here. All right, and like what they're going against. Dude, like you just mentioned, like that, who's going to win what, whatever. The Packers, total yards on offense, 4th. Passing yards, 12th. Rushing yards, 2nd.
Yeah.
Points, 8th. And then the same thing at the Texans defense. They're not a bunch of bums over there. They're in total yards on defense are 3rd. Passing yards are 4th. Rushing yards are 13th. Points are 15th. So, like, these are all pretty much similar. Like, I feel like this is going to be a battle on both sides. Like, and people are saying, like, this is a big test for the Packers. This is a big test for the Texans, too. Because I promise you, like, I don't care what Packer fans say or what any fan base says. When the Texans are watching film, they know what the Packers are. They know what Jordan Love is. Actually, the Texans coach said this is the best quarterback we faced, and they played the Bills.
Yeah, I think he's probably just not one.
Oh, yeah. He's probably
material.
Yeah, Brady said that. He always like, oh, this corner is good. I got to watch him. He'd be like, in the meeting, we're like, this guy sucks. No, I don't think that he thinks he sucks, but I definitely think that team, when they're watching film, they respect it.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Love, people could talk about whatever. He got hurt in that first game. Came back with the Vikings, started off slow, but I feel like Jordan Love is warming up. This offense is warming up. Christian Watson, still on the injury report, but last week he got a touchdown. Romeo Doubs is doing his thing. Jaden Reed is dude, I don't even know the words to say what Jaden Reed is. He is so good. He could do so much. Dude, he's running around pre-snap more than I run around in a week. Like, he's just back there. I don't know if it's strategic or he did like just run around back there. We might give it to you. No, I'm sure. But like, he does so much. He can run it. He can catch it. We need to get Wicks more involved. Tucker Kraft, he's my fantasy tight end. He's doing his thing. I feel like this offense can really get done. But they're going up against a really good Texans defense. What do you think about that, Benny?
So, I talked about how the Packers offensive line is pretty good and their defensive line is really good. It's kind of the opposite here with the Texans. Their offensive line, I don't know if it's Stroud trying to move or trying to hold the ball and extend the play, but they've allowed a fair bit of sacks. They're 25th in the league. They've allowed 17 sacks. Packers have generated 16 on the season, but 8 of which have came from the Titans game. Now the Titans have allowed, I believe, the same amount as the Texans as far as sacks in a season. So if we could produce the same type of pass rush that we produced against the Titans, I don't think we'll get 8 sacks in the game. But if you could disrupt Stroud,
dude, why not?
I mean, why not, right? But if you can make them uncomfortable and generate some turnovers off it, I think that's going to be the defining turn of this game. Is you can't let Stroud kill you with his legs, extending plays, running downfield. We need to contain him like we did Kyler. But the difference is Stroud can also kill you with his arm, where I think Kyler, not to knock Kyler, but Stroud's just like a next level, right? He can extend the pocket. He doesn't take off as much, but his legs are there where he can extend the play and keep things moving and throw it on a dime at any given time. So you got to make him uncomfortable the whole time. You got to take the ball away, and you got to put points on, capitalize off those turnovers if you can get them.
Yeah. I had a comment here, and I just lost it. All right. I think I got it right here. What's up, CJ? Said, are you excited to see anything crazy happening again with Diggs and Ja Money? Like,
There's history there.
Jair is obviously on the injury report. He's probably going to play. He played last week. How they'll do that, the Packers defense, like historically, like they don't, he doesn't follow people around as much, but I'm definitely. And he's on my fantasy team, Diggs.
Dude, yeah, that's why I don't like fantasy football.
Well, first of all, I'll say this. I don't root for my fantasy over the Packers. It's not even hard not to do. First of all, I'm like 9th place out of 10 teams. So the season's been done for me for a minute. But even if I'm in first place, that's why I don't draft rivals on my fantasy team, but I didn't know it was a dynasty league when I joined. So now, players change teams or whatever. And not that Texans are a rival, but I have like Bears players. I have Aaron Jones. Like I have guys. But what are you gonna do? But yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm excited. I'm always. What's going on over there, Ben? What happened?
My wife must have dropped something.
Dude, she might have fell, bro. That was loud. You might want to check on it.
I know.
She threw the baby.
No, I think my son's asleep now.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Katie.
If anything,
maybe I should have said her name.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Right.
It's not a big deal. But if anything, Mason's probably wreaking havoc up there yet fighting sleep. So that's probably more likely.
She's gonna take. Are you done?
Yeah.
But
wrap it up.
But yeah. So, do you have a score prediction for this game?
I don't do score predictions.
You don't do score predictions?
No.
Do you think it's going to be what kind of game do you think it's going to be? I'm going to try to.
Dude, I think it's going to be a slugfest, man. I think it's going to be a slugfest. I think it really just depends on who's going to make the fewer mistakes of the game, right? Like if the Packers can hold off from putting themselves in holes. We saw against the Rams, they really put themselves in a lot of holes, especially in that second half that allowed the Rams to come back in the game. I saw Aaron Nagler post something that at one point in the second half, they were averaging like 3rd and 12 every or like 12 yards every third down conversion. That was like their average. And that's just not a recipe for success. If they coach the game and they run the game like they did last week, where it's 3rd and manageable every single time, I think you're golden. Capitalize on the mistakes that Texans make. Don't put yourself in a hole with penalties, and any opportunities you get, just capitalize on them, whether it's in the red zone, all very cliche things of saying, but
yeah,
just, it's like, if you can score the most points, I think you're going to win. But I think that's the biggest thing, is just making your 3rd manageable, keep the chains moving. The Packers did a great job of that last week. If they can replicate that this week, I'm pretty good. I'm confident with it.
Yeah, it's all about not making mistakes, because I feel like the team that makes the most mistakes, because the Packers defense is taking away balls. Texans got a great defense. I don't know how many takeaways they have, but they
7.
Okay,
Well, they have 7 giveaways and 7 takeaways, so their turnover differential is 0.
I'm not going to use that sound often, but I feel like that was necessary. I do want to give a shout out to our one Twitch watcher. We have one person watching on Twitch.
Look at you on Twitch, man.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch. We got one person watching on Twitch. I
Shout
appreciate you, whoever you are.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close game. Like you say, whoever makes the most mistakes is going to win. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, too, which is, I think both these defenses are great, but I feel like it's not going to be a defensive struggle. I feel like both these offenses can put points on the board. It might be some turnovers, might be a lot of things that happen. I don't know. Hopefully it's not messy. I feel like if it's messy on either side, you're not going to get forgiveness. Like if you screw up, you come out the first half sloppy, Texans or Packers, you're not going to recover. This is not. Neither of these teams are teams that are going to forgive you for that. Because look at last week. Like you mentioned the Texans, what they did in the second half, but like it looked like Packers had that lead, and you're like, well, are they going to let it slip? Are they going to go a prevent? Are they going to let them get back into this thing? But they overall didn't. They didn't let that happen. Because you hate that when that happens. Like the Vikings fans are still, that was garbage time.
Yeah.
First of all, it wasn't.
No.
The whole Vikings game, I'll say, is over and over again. Was not garbage time because like 10 minutes left, it was within a touchdown.
They're like,
So
well, the Packers didn't score any points until the fourth quarter. Yeah, but it's because they were still driving. They just didn't capitalize on anything. You had Wicks get hit on the goal line right in the shoulder.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. But yeah,
No, I get fired up about that game. That game annoys me with Viking fans talk. You talk to your brother.
Look at the defense and the adjustments they've made after halftime the last 4 weeks.
Yeah,
they're only allowing like 6 points a game. I think last week we allowed 3 points in the second half. The defensive adjustments after half has just been spectacular the last 4 weeks. So I'm curious to see if that'll happen. Obviously, we had some turnovers this week that took points off the board. So it wasn't like we were just shutting them down. We were just forcing the ball. But I'm excited to see if those adjustments continue to happen going forward. And we keep seeing Hafley's defense kind of come into full effect as the season goes on.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the Pack. I don't really have a score prediction. I'll probably put one out later because I'll do score predictions. I did 34-17 the last 2 weeks. Last game, I was really close. The week before that, not so much, but we don't talk about that one. But I'll have a different one this week. I think it's going to be a lot closer. But I do want to say, let everyone know, every Tuesday, Ben is live at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm live at 7, so you got to pick.
Yeah. You can only do one. I will say, if it's any way to persuade you, I do a Packers giveaway every single episode.
Yeah.
So.
No, I encourage you to go watch. You watch me 7 to 7:30. Me and Jimmy are probably getting boring by then. We're probably hammered.
Well, my whole show is boring, so just tune in for the giveaway.
Dude, be sure to check out the Green Bay guy, all right, and also the greenbayguy.com. But we are going to wrap this up because you got a lot of commotion going upstairs. No, I'm sure it's fine. But,
no, she's probably just, I don't know, cleaning up.
But everyone, this Monday night, I will be live for Monday Night Football, and then again for Thursday Night Football. We're gonna start doing a lot of live streams. So be sure to tune in. Check out the MattRamageShow.com for all the links, all the places I do stuff, and go follow me on Twitch. You know what I mean? Hey, we still got that one Twitch follower. Yeah, they're watching. Hey, shout out to the Twitch person.
Hey, before you go,
what do you got?
Can I say thank you? Because your code on Prize Pick, I won $250 off the $50 free play. So I put together a good play, all with free money from your code. So thank you for that. I probably owe you lunch now.
Yeah, I think you do. I forgot about that. But yeah, if you go to Prize Picks and you've never been on Prize Picks before, maybe you're on the other ones, and you want to check it out, if you spend $5 of your own money, you get $50 in promo codes. Use promo code Ramage when you're signing up. And dude, I have a link on my social media.
I won $250. I'm feeling good.
Dude, you're smart. That's why.
I don't know about that. I there's definitely a lot of luck in it, but yeah, dude, I was happy. I was like, man, I played. Actually, I won $265 because I did my $5 play that hit, and then I did my $50 play with a bigger play that hit. So I won $265. I feeling good. So I definitely owe you lunch or something.
Yeah, and it's not that difficult. It's just over under.
Yeah,
you know, so like,
I mean, it sounds easier in principle, but like, yeah, anyone can kind of make those predictions.
Oh yeah, like it's not like a give me, but it's like I win some, I lose some. I lose more than I win. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not that smart, but it's pretty easy, you know. And there we go. He said, Jason said to Ben, "Don't spend it all on some fancy record player."
Shout out my guy Jason.
Shout out to Jason. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Shout out to Iowa Joe. He's been here the whole time. Everyone who's tuned in, I really appreciate everyone listening on the podcast. Stay tuned on the audio podcast because we're going to start having content you can't get anywhere else, not live streams, talking directly to the podcast audience because I think that's how it should be. Because right now, you know, we're talking with the chat, and I feel like people listen to podcasts are like,
it's harder to keep up for sure. Yeah,
it is, especially when you start talking about visuals and stuff or whatever. So we're gonna start doing some good podcast content, bring people on, talk Packers, and also a Jeopardy champion possibly. He didn't say yes yet, so I don't know why I'm telling everyone. But I think he'll do it.
That would be an interesting thing to hear about his situation, like on the show, and how that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him. I know he was dominating there, but it would be interesting to hear about his experience on Jeopardy and what leads up to that, the process of getting on the show, and what your prep looks like for that show. So
you're gonna have to help me prep for this podcast.
I got you, man.
I didn't think about none of that.
I got you, man. Don't worry.
All right. Hey, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Go Pack Go. Be sure to check out the greenbayguy.com if you're visiting Green Bay this season. And Ben's got the hookup on restaurants and all types of other stuff on there.
Yeah.
And,
if you got questions, you can always text me. My phone number's on there. Don't call me. I won't answer it. But you can text me. You can shoot me an email. I'm always happy to help any way I can. So.
Yeah, and he doesn't answer my text, but maybe he'll answer yours. Shout out to Chad. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.
Appreciate y'all. All right.